Hello there, Virgo, and welcome to your monthly forecast. Really great to see you again. I hope everything is getting off to a good start for you as well. Now, for those of you that are brand new, let me just run through the format and then we can get into the forecast. I like to begin each month with channeled information. I'll get more into that in just a second. And then I take it from there and look at the Celtic Cross, which will show an overview for the month, all of the main points of interest. And then I like to go a little bit deeper at the end into an extended forecast looking at health, wealth, love, and destiny. Let's start off with the channeled information. Each month before I get started, I meditate on the sign, and as I was tuning into your sign and doing some automatic writing, the following message came through. I really want you to focus on opening yourself up to receiving more abundance this month. Now, sometimes that's hard because we're either so used to competing or giving or just being so distracted that we forget that it's okay to receive. The abundance can be in the form of other people's love, money, time, or opportunities if they want to present them to you. And it could also be you opening yourself up to receive help or asking for help. See yourself as someone who's worth this, because I think that's actually the hardest thing for a lot of us is a self-esteem issue that blocks us from receiving abundance. So that's your main message this month, is to stay open, to keep your heart open, to ask for help if you want it, and then more importantly, to be able to receive it. Because when people want to give unconditional love, it's just that, it's unconditional. So I hope that that resonates with you, and I hope that this month you can open yourself up for something new and exciting to come through. All right, let's go ahead now and take a look at the cards and see what additional insight they have to give for this month. Just a reminder that as I do this, I usually remain quiet because, like you, I like to really just pay attention to what the cards have to say. I can't remember if I said this at the beginning, but one more quick note before I get into the cards. If you know your sun, rising, and your moon sign, you can use these videos for all three. Okay, let's get into the cards now and see what they have to say. Additionally, I like to pull a catalyst card, and for me the catalyst ties everything together. And just like the name, it shows you how to create positive action in your life. So let's see what your catalyst is for this month. We have the 9 of Pentacles, the 9 of Discs, which is great. What I really love about this card is not only is it a card of abundance, but it's a card of recognizing the opportunities around you. Typically, you'll see the illustration showing a woman that's looking at a garden or trees or bushes that are yielding fruit, yielding what looks like money growing on trees, literally. Now, what's important there, though, is that she is aware of what is around her. She's tending that garden, weeding out what shouldn't be there, nurturing what should be there, creating new opportunities if she needs to. It's a very active card, and it's a card where the person feels a sense of empowerment and purpose. I want you to feel that way about your finances this month. And I also want you to feel that way about yourself, like you're capable of doing this, whatever your challenges or whatever your wonderful, bountiful opportunities are, that you're going to be able to embrace all of them, to fix what needs to be fixed, to grow what you want to continue to see growing. The other thing with this card is there is really no fear in it. It's just understanding purpose and knowing that there's opportunities ahead. So this is a great card to meditate on. So if you have the traditional Rider-Waite deck, go look at the 9 of Pentacles. This card has some unique things in it as well, where I see that there's manifestation. You look at this and it's almost like a medicine woman creating her own magic, her own opportunities. So one additional element that I get from this card is, if you don't like what you see, create something new. And we always have the power for change. That's really the difference between someone who is successful and someone who feels kind of weighted down in situations in the past that didn't work out the way they wanted to. Successful people look at those setbacks or challenges as learning opportunities and move on and then get stronger. And some other people may just focus on this feeling that the world is against them. I want you this month to feel empowered and feel like the world has your back and that you're going to be able to move forward, okay? Let's now look at the rest of the cards and see what additional messages they have to hold for you. We have the Emperor card in reverse, and it is telling you just to take control of everything this month. In particular, there's a relationship note here. We have the Devil card, but the Devil card in this deck is very much focused on the people that you are most intimate with in your life. This could be close friends, family, of course, loved ones, and you don't want to just sort of ignore things this month, and that's really what this card represents for me. It's the fear of something that you're afraid to bring up a conversation because there might be an argument associated with it. There's something going on. There could be an addiction. There could be some secret that you've been keeping or your partner's been keeping or a friend's been keeping. This is the month to air it, to bring it into the light. That's really, I had another message for one of the other signs this month. How, the light workers, we basically will take a flashlight and shine it on the shadow and try to understand it rather than running from it. Because when you have fear, it feeds those sort of shadow elements. So this month, just bring to light whatever has been going on, and you don't want to fall asleep at the wheel here. You have to sort of take control, and then once you know what's making you afraid, you can work on conquering those fears. Some of you may be having a difficult beginning of the month. There could be some strong emotional things that are holding over from the previous month, or in general, it just might be hard to sort of get your mojo and feel okay. There could be some relationship shakeups for some of you too. We see the King of Cups here and Prince of Pentacles, both of them reversed. When this happens here, this is showing me heightened emotions, and there may be a friend, a partner, a loved one that is really focusing too much on themselves. And it's hard to have a level conversation with someone who either has a difficult time with empathy or might be just feeling like they have too much at stake to put themselves out there and try to solve something. So if that's the case this month, I want you to step back. And I do get that for some of you, this could be difficulties in a marriage or a love relationship. When I get two of the same sign, the Prince and Princess of Pentacles here, it looks like for many of you, it could be the masculine energy that feels out of sorts. Either way, I want you to try to step back a little bit. And it looks like the main thing here is about control issues. So if you're the one that's feeling like you need more respect, or if your partner is not kind of holding up their end of the bargain, whatever the control issues are, air them in a neutral sort of way and try to overcome them this month. I think if you do that, there'll be success. If not, for some of you, it might be time to get some space. If it's a friendship, the Eight of Cups can just be some distance, and then you come back later. There's always a return with the Eight of Cups. You'll notice in most decks you see 7, even though it says 8 here, you'll see 7 cups. That's because the 8th is with the person who's journeying, and they're going to come back. And whenever I see breakups and the Eight of Cups comes through, it's usually a card that shows me one of two things. One, that there's an opportunity for reconciliation, which of course is a very positive outcome, but it can also mean that there might be a chance to, for one of you to let go of something. It might be a time to move on, or you might be holding on to something. So if you're holding on to something, think about how you can release the grudge, the anger, the anxiety. And if you need the space, it's okay. There'll be a chance to go back later. For some of you, you just need that to get back into a state of mind where you can have that level conversation, that neutral conversation that I was talking about. Now, as we look in your ego position, we have the Three of Wands, one of my favorite cards, because this really shows that what you're working on is starting to pay off. Your plans, your goals, your dreams, there's some sort of a clarity of what you want and seeing that that's now within reach. And this card focuses much more on the clarity of the path than the fact that you might actually be getting a clear visual indication of something coming through. Normally you see 3 ships on the horizon. In this one, it's more just an indication that the number 3 is of importance, say the next quarter of the year, 2 to 3 months, and that the path ahead seems much clearer, much more manageable than it was before. So let's really embrace that part of this card, knowing that if you've been struggling with knowing what to do next, it feels like now you know what's important. You know what the next step is for you. What you should be focusing on then, as we look at environment, is action. When I see Princess of Swords, this is a card where you want to be clear in your communications. You want to take action with picking up the phone, writing an email, reaching out, not waiting for someone else to do that. So if you're job seeking, if you're wanting to go out with someone, if you need to get clarity with your partner about what's going on, having that difficult conversation, which we're seeing here with the Devil card, that it's important then for you to sort of lay the groundwork to allow this to happen. Other people may be waiting for you, so don't miss that opportunity. Be strong this month. And also, if there's something that you need, remember that was a channeled information. Don't be afraid to ask. Within your hopes and fears area, we have the Eight of Wands. This is also an opportunity area. So I feel like you're only as limited as you want yourself to be. There's a lot going on this month. You have to make some choices. And for some of you, you're going to embrace all of this opportunity. And that was what I was sensing with the channeled information. For me, the Eight of Wands is a great card. It shows manageable busyness, if you will. And so I want you to embrace this idea that you can take all that's coming your way. If for whatever reason you're feeling like you just need a little bit more time or you want to focus, you can always just try to be very pinpointed on what's the most important to you. But try not to say no to something that could be important later. I think with Eight of Wands, just try to balance. And it's all about making smart choices along the way. So I think if you plan your time accordingly, you'll be able to bring in a lot of business for those of you that are independent and have your own company or are sole proprietor. It looks like a busy month for you. For those of you that are just looking to expand your social sphere, also looks very busy. And so what's important for you is to try to find that balance. If there's any sort of habit that you have that brings you off kilter a little bit, out of balance, you want to pay attention to that. This could be some sort of an issue with an addiction, or it could be someone in your life who again is sort of pulling your energy a bit. Shine the light on whatever that shadow energy is and let it go. Now, the most important thing for you is to not give up this month, because whenever I see Five of Wands in its reverse state, it shows me that you may not always be receiving the kind of feedback from a boss or a coworker or a loved one that you need to know that you're okay. I want you to believe it, because I see it in the soul space here that you know that things are okay. Don't give up, just because it's a rough day or because you're kind of having these questions of, is this worth it? Is it not worth it? I want you to believe this month it's worth it, and to balance everything, believe that you're capable of handling the abundance, welcome in that abundance. And then rather than giving up something, you could ask for assistance this month. That's what if we go back to the channeled information, with the Eight of Wands, if you have a small business, it's a good time to look to hire someone for temporary work. If you are doing a lot of work at home and you're not getting the help that you need, ask for it, because maybe your partner or your family isn't doing what they should do. If there's something going on, this is just a chance to try to fix the fact that you don't want to say no to the opportunity. You want other people to do their share, okay? Let's expand the forecast now to look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. We'll begin with health, the mind, body, spirit message. Your health message this month is to open your heart to love. And wow, that completely goes with the channeled information that we were talking about before. But two messages here, since we're talking about both health and your mind here, your body and your spirit. The body part of this is to focus on the heart space, making sure that you're taking care of it through enough physical activity. For those of you that have a history of difficulties with either blood pressure or anything that's sort of relating to heart, lung, and blood, you want to take care of this area of your body as much as possible. Get a checkup, and really make sure that this is doing okay. And then for those of you that are feeling all right, what you want to do this month is to stretch and to open up the heart space. So if you're doing any sort of yoga, Pilates, or working out, it's just focusing in on the chest and opening it up. For the mind part of this is about believing just a few short words, I am lovable. And that can be part of your mantra, or I deserve love, or I'm ready for love. Make this part of your daily affirmation. The card is reversed here, so I want you to be in the receiving end of this and think, I'm ready now, not just to give, but to receive. We see a lot of nature in this card, so one way for you to connect to that is to get outside. Maybe that's, just taking a hike, walking with a dog if you have it, spending some time just outside and listening and observing nature, because that sense of openness and abundance around you will also help with this heart space. Okay, let's look now at your wealth card, which can be relating to your opportunities, to your money, to your feeling of security with money, also to confidence, because I say this a lot. I really believe that how you feel about yourself directly affects your net worth or your success. So let's see what's coming through for wealth. We have community. So this is showing me for many of you that your next big opportunity is going to come through someone that you know, through an activity that you might do. So it's really important that whatever your social calendar is like right now, I want you to keep that up. So if you play sports, keep playing sports. If you have like a book club, or you go for some sort of continuing education, or you just like to hang out with some friends and watch movies, keep doing this, because this group of friends, it's going to help you with maybe a future job opportunity, or if you own your own company, there could be a referral that comes through a friend. And the other thing for you, if again you have your own business, or you're just trying to understand what's going on, you need to get more connected to either your professional community or the community that you work in and that you serve, and really get more of a feeling for what's going on. This is going to be important around the second week of the month for you. So try to open up your calendar and be more active around that time. Let's look now at your love card. Love, of course, being the relationships in your life, whether it is a love relationship, a family relationship, or just the way you feel about yourself. It's all love in the end here. So this month, let's just take it off the top, your card says uncovering treasure, and it says beneath the surface lies great bounty. So I want you to try to let go of preconceived notions of what beauty is. This is really showing you that surface is just surface. Sometimes a beautiful person can have a lot of work to do on the inside, and it may not match the surface, and vice versa. So if you're looking for love, if you want to find new friends, new loved ones, etc., what you want to do is maybe look outside of what your normal compatible type is. And you may be pleasantly surprised by someone who at first you think there may not be a connection, but once you get to know them, or once you have a conversation with them, energetically there's a really good attraction. So yeah, kind of like reserve judgment until you get a chance to talk to someone this month. It could open up some really beautiful friendships, love opportunities, and just general growth within your social sphere. Now, as we look at your destiny card, I always like to remind people that this is your free will card. It's a GPS. If you like where you're headed, great. If not, you can change it. This is just for your benefit, so that you have a chance to fine-tune your trajectory a bit. So we have the Hungry Ghost here, and it says obsession, scarcity, consciousness, and attachment. The card's reversed, which is good. That's showing me that you're ready to let go of these things. So instead of scarcity, this is what your message was about, was to think of abundance. Instead of obsessions, think of releasing things. Think of creating distance between things that are no longer serving you and what you're doing now, understanding that you have a lot more room for things in your life than you thought. And that's really what we see here with the Devil card. You're letting go of those attachments. So shadows only exist if you feed them. I want you to starve them this month, and you starve them by feeding your own self with love, with light, with the feeling that it's going to be all right. All right, let's go ahead now and review everything that we talked about. We'll start off with the channeled information, which was really to focus on receiving more abundance in your life, whether that was love, whether it was money or opportunity, to see yourself as someone that is able to receive it, and if necessary, to just open up and ask for what you need in your life. I know it's a lot easier said than done, but I saw with the case of the Eight of Wands here in your opportunities that there is a lot of abundance that wants to make itself known. Also, as we look at all of the cards, starting off with the Nine of Pentacles, you're capable of not only having this abundance, but managing it. So I want you to take a very active role with your money this month. One thing that's very important to you is trying to resolve any relationship issues this month, and do that as soon as possible. With the Devil card and these two of the same suit, which usually shows an intimate relationship, if there's anything coming through relating to power dynamics, potentially even money. You want to get that out of the way as soon as possible. For some of you, that's going to involve taking a little bit of a break from that friendship or from that relationship, but there's a chance for reconciliation if you want it. Once you start to focus your energy on your own life here, I think you're going to have a clearer path of what's next and what's important. You need to take action on that this month. Be the one that initiates conversations, particularly professional conversations, and if there's any need for litigation or looking at contracts, this is a good month for that too. Now, I want you to try not to turn away any opportunities. Instead, ask for assistance, delegate if you're a manager, but try not to turn things away, because there's a tendency to just want to kind of like step back because it feels overwhelming. But I think you can handle it if everyone is doing their weight and handling things equally. If not, again, this is what the Devil card could be alluding to. When we look at your health card, we have open your heart to love. Again, of course, a note on the general heart area that you want to pay attention to that and make sure that it's strong. But the other part is just to open yourself from an emotional and a mental perspective to allowing love in your life. When we look at wealth, it's about relying on the community for support, for insights, for lead generation. When we look at love, looking beneath the surface, looking beyond your typical type, allowing people to reveal themselves, sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse, but either way you're going to have a better understanding. And finally, to let go of shadows in your life. That's the one time you really do want to starve something. Don't feed negative energy with more negativity. Feed it with the sense of, thank you for coming in my life and teaching me, but now I'm done with this and I'm ready to move on. And that's really what shadows don't want in reality. And so when you no longer need them, when you no longer fear them, they kind of evaporate, and it's a wonderful thing. Something I've seen in my life too, where you realize, I was actually giving power to that shadow energy. All I had to do was acknowledge it and focus on something else, and it evaporates. So anyway, this brings our monthly reading to a close, and I hope that you got what you needed to feel confident and empowered this month. That's really the key thing. And then, of course, open. I want you to feel like you can receive as much bounty and as much abundance as possible this month, because it seems like it's there. The word bountiful comes to mind. So I want you to see this month as bountiful, as abundant. So that brings your monthly reading to an official close. But if you ever need to chat with me, maybe life throws you an unexpected curveball, something comes up and you just feel like you want to talk, check out the first link below the video. That'll allow you to check out my rates and availability, and if it makes sense, you can schedule an appointment with me. The second link is a way that you can support my channel. So every month I really do this out of the goodness of my heart and as a service to all of you, but this is also the way that I make a living, and if you found this even moderately helpful, you can give as little as $1, which goes a long way. It helps me buy cards, pay for the internet, and basically just allow for the general production costs to continue. The next thing, the third link there, is a way to stay in touch. So no matter what, I would love for you to do that. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and I also have a newsletter. And there's links to all of those if you follow that third link under the video. Additionally, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do so. It helps me to know that I'm making a difference in everyone's lives. The way I like to end every video, though, and this is my favorite part of each month, is to just really set a bigger picture for why we're here each month. One thing that I've been talking about in the first part of this year is how, as we continue to work on ourselves, these little changes have a ripple effect. All of us start to create a beautiful chain of light. We also kind of stand out as beacons of light. And what I want you to start to do now is to work on extending this work that you've done on yourself to others in your life, showing one type of unconditional love this month. It could just be listening to someone who's having a hard day, giving someone a hug if things are kind of getting them down, smiling, maybe doing something of service, some sort of like giving $1 to a homeless person, whatever it is, doing something that shows, I don't need this, I'm giving it to you because I love you and I want you to have something, and that's it. It's some sort of a service, some sort of an unconditional extension of your heart space. Not only will this make you feel good, but it's going to open up more abundance for you, and that was your channeled information anyway. But you're not doing it for that explicit, and otherwise it's not going to work. You're just going to do it because it feels good, because it's the right thing to do. And as light workers, I want us to really open up on that service end as well. So each month I'll challenge us with different things that we can work on. This month it's doing something for someone else just because, all right? And this is my gift to you. And so thank you so much for allowing me to be part of your journey. I look forward to seeing you soon, and I'm so proud of all the work you're doing on yourself. So take care, I'll see you soon, and thank you so much again. Bye-bye.